Morning. So in the background, you'll keep hearing this soundtrack going through. I hope you enjoy it. It's the recurring loop for my cafe, and it hasn't changed since I moved over here, but I know all the songs off by heart now, which is great. So yesterday, the day before, we were talking about some things and motivations and a bit of a baseline on the why of me and the journal. Now, journaling is it's a personal journey. It's different for everybody, and that's something that I've had to take into account with what I'm trying to design and create. Most of it has come from my own personal journey, and then I adapted it to conversations that I had with people, sessions that I've had where we've sat down and spoken about different things, and then when I put it out to the beta testers, there was one simple rule, two actually. One was adapt it to how you need to use it, and number two was break it. Put it through its paces, what works, what doesn't. And as we get into the experiment side of things, you'll see how much it went in directions that I never thought it would. But for my personal journey, I've never written in a nice way. I write about the things I dream of, I write about what I want to achieve, things like that. And then I'm always very harsh with myself. I take the third person perspective and I break it down, and I don't sugarcoat it, and quite often this works. But the two things that more and more, two lines keep popping into my head, and number one is we all have shit going on in our lives. Conversations, chats with friends, phone calls, even at work, everybody has shit going on in their lives. And that's what keeps coming out in me. The second part of that, and through my own personal journey, is own your shit. And this is where the political correctness was coming in, because it's like, you can't say that. And I don't know if this will be an Australian thing or a generational thing, whether everybody will understand it or it will lose people. But one of the struggles I've had, as I said the other day, was, how do you say it in a nice way that people want it? But more and more I come back to, no, it's about being blunt. Like, we have so many things out there being nice to us, and that's part of the problem, because when you think everything's okay, you don't own up to what's going on. So more and more my head just keeps coming back to own your shit. And this comes down to a couple of things. Personally, I believe there are very few things in life that we actually control. One is our mind. As much as it runs away with us, we control our mind, we control our actions, and we control our reactions. Anything out there, we don't have control over it. So the idea of the journey is, I believe that we have three foundations that everybody's life is built on. Number one, emotion. And that always comes first. Number two, logic. When we disassociate with emotion and we apply the left hemisphere of our brain. Number three is action. So this is the entire foundation of the journal. This is what it's all been built around, and the reason being is that every single person has strengths in some of these foundations, and they are retarded in others. They just can't get past it. So the idea of the experiment and the journal is to work on our existing strengths and to bolster the weaknesses that we have. But it doesn't matter who we are, it doesn't matter what we're going through. These are three things that affect all of us. And as we go through, I'll delve into each of them. So that's where, emotion, feel, logic, think, action, do. That's where this journal is coming from. More tomorrow.